Hey everyone. Hey everyone, and welcome to my podcast, She Talks Football. I'm excited to be here once again with you all. Hoping everyone will tune in. Definitely, you should see a tweet out there where you can click on the link. That's how you're listening to this, or go to the Undroppables. Go to the Undroppables YouTube channel. Please retweet the tweet with the live link and just let everyone know that we're here because we're up in here. She talks football. So we're just going to go ahead and get right in with week 3, you guys. I just want to let me introduce my guest first so we can just jump into it. I'm like so excited. I'm Gina. I'm the host of She Talks Football. I have my guest host here who's actually a regular on my podcast. So if you saw my other episode, you saw him before. His name is Bobby, and he has a podcast called The No Pro Football Show. And as you can see right there, you can see follow him on Twitter at NP Football Show. So let's welcome in Bobby. Hey, Bobby.
How you doing? Also follow my YouTube, No Pro Football Show.
All right, follow his YouTube.
Subscribe, comment, question, anything.
What he said right there. So let's go ahead and jump into this because we're only going to be about an hour and there is so much to talk about. I just have to start off with this. It seems like it takes so long for football season to come around, you guys. Like it takes so long, but once it gets here, like tell me, have we or have we not had some great football over these last 3 weeks?
Absolutely.
We've had some great football, so it's so exciting. So let's just go ahead and get in here. Obviously, you probably can tell by my background and everything that I'm a Ravens fan. Absolutely. I am a Ravens fanatic. So this was definitely one of the great games of the week. So we're going to talk about, some of the other games. Definitely want to get into that Steelers Bengals game, the Rams Bucks, the Chiefs Chargers, and the Falcons Giants. But first, we got to start off with this Ravens Lions game. So this is the first thing that I want to say. My kicker, my goal-loving kicker. Y'all know I don't curse, right? But y'all know what line where that comes from. My kicker, my goal-loving kicker. Justin Tucker's leg, I think, is just attracted to goalposts. Like it got to be something. It's some kind of magnetic something that ball it wants to go over the goalpost, even though he had a miss earlier in the game. But I read a funny comment that said Tucker said he really likes Detroit and he was thinking about buying a place there. I cried laughing. So it was like for Lions fans out there, believe you me, I feel your pain. Working so hard. You guys are feisty. And so believe you me, as a Ravens fan, I was not overlooking your team. Not at all. I was like, they are feisty, they are spicy, they want to win. And so I'm like, but this was like Groundhog's Day, deja vu, like whatever you want to call it. With us getting out of there with the win 8 years ago on a 61-yard kick by Justin Tucker. And now a 66-yard kick, 666 Saints, members and friends. 66 yards. He set a world record. NFL record. Might as well be a world record, but no, he set an NFL record. That was crazy. Do you just I know that was at the end of the game, but how can you not start off without talking about that?
Absolutely. That record though is probably going to last for a little while because I want to say it was Prater who had the previous record of 65 yards, which is weird because he was on the opposite team. But I think it's going to stick for a little while. 66 yards is really well, with the exception of if you're in Denver playing. That makes it slightly easier because the air is thinner, the ball travels faster and farther. But other than that, I think that's going to stick for a little while.
Yeah, and someone actually, I heard that on one of the broadcasts today. They was like, if another kicking record was going to happen, you would think it would have been in Denver, where the air is thinner, the ball can travel further. Right. But not so. It was happening. It happened at sea level in Detroit. So that was just amazing. Justin Tucker, first ballot Hall of Famer, period. Like, how can you even disagree with that? He's the first ballot Hall of Famer. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Which
let's
is
go ahead.
interesting because there's only like 5 kickers in the Hall of Fame right now.
Right. And we got a few we know that'll be going in. Vinatieri for sure. Definitely the first that'll come to mind. And I may be a few more, but yeah, he's the first ballot. Justin Tucker, JT, number 9. So, but there were some things that happened in that game which were like not so hot. Like it ended on a high note, but we definitely had a few low notes in that Ravens
Ended on
Lions
a high
game.
note for the Ravens.
Well, yeah, right. Sorry, fans. Yeah, it ended on a high note for us that we were able to escape out of there with that win. But let's talk about the game was close, but should it have been? Should this game have been close at all? The answer is nope. The game legitimately should not have been close. And it was close. Why? Tell them why, Bobby.
Missed passes, drop passes. That's basically why it was close. Drop two definite
Flat out
touchdowns dropped, and
touchdowns.
one possible touchdown was dropped. Well, and you just don't even know where the other passes, what could have happened with them. But yeah, 2 definite touchdowns for sure were dropped.
And probably that other pass with Marquise would have been the third. And Mark Andrews actually missed some balls, and Sammy. It was like Lamar was throwing them dimes. Like, why? How? Like, those balls were coming in exactly where they needed to be. They were touching your fingertips. They were touching your hands. Like, so that was just baffling and quite upsetting actually during the game. As we're watching the game, of course, we don't know how the game is going to end, but we just know that was a touchdown. That was a touchdown. Honest to goodness, the final score should have been with us probably at least 3 touchdowns more. 3 touchdowns more, to be honest. It really should have been at least 3 touchdowns more on that score. So it was not Lamar. Lamar went out there and did what he was supposed to do. We just had Butterfingers this game. That's something that has plagued us in previous seasons. I was hoping that we were past it. And obviously, they're human. You're going to miss stuff. But we just don't want, like, if you miss a pass, okay. But if you miss 2, 3, 4 passes in the same game, then that gets to be like a little bit scary there. So I don't know what was going on with Hollywood in this game.
It had to be, in my mind, at least I would say it had to be mental errors because there was either something going on in his personal life or for whatever reason, I feel like his head wasn't in the game.
Right.
And that I mean, they're human. Players are human beings, so they have problems that are off the field that could affect. And we always want to say, once you hit the field, you let all that. That's not possible. That is absolutely not possible. If you have a tragedy or something urgent or something important or something mentally,
girlfriends broke up with you,
right? All those type of things. You're going to have that with you as much as you try to block it out. And of course, I'm sure whatever it was, if anything, he tried to block it out. But you're a human being, so and I'm not mad at him for that game, like because he's going to come back and make up for it if possible. He's going to be fine. So I'm not really mad at him about that game. But, we definitely need to get the focus back because not only were there a lot of mental errors on passes, but tackling. There were a lot of errors in tackling, and that's like basic from Pop Warner on up.
Dude.
This should be instinctual now. I don't know.
And that wasn't just this game. Like
that's been the whole
in
season.
The first 3 games, we've had the issue before, but for sure, this season and all 3 of these games, missed tackles. Like, come on. I mean, why are these players able to escape past, have missed tackles on 3 of not just one player, but 2, 3, 4. And I'm not even talking about like the Kelsey play. Kelsey is Kelsey, and still it counts. But then again, it's Kelsey. But I mean, some of these other players, some of these other games, how are we missing all of these tackles? Like, how
Well,
come we're not wrapping up? Wrap
even on the
up,
Kelsey
wrap
play,
up.
even on the Kelsey play, there are a lot of bad angles taken to try to get
Right,
to him.
right.
So that's a part of the fundamentals also. And I mean, Kelsey is fast for a tight end, but there's some fast guys in that backfield for the Ravens too, and they were taking wrong angles, and I don't know that they were just expecting somebody else to get him or something, but yeah, they definitely got to go back to basics with the tackles.
And that would
Back to
indicate
basics.
lack of communication. If you thought somebody else was getting it, that's lack of communication or not knowing where you're supposed to be. I don't know, but they definitely have to tighten it up, because I really am expecting us, despite the adversity we have endured in terms of the injuries, 15, 16 players now on IR. I'm still expecting us, and yes, I'm saying it boldly, I'm expecting us to go to the Super Bowl. I am. I'll say it again. I'm expecting the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl this season. This season, not next year. This season. I'm saying that proud and loud. I'm saying it with my chest. Saying it with my chest. I'm expecting us to go, despite everything. But dude, we're really going to make it harder on ourselves if we do not tackle people. Like, you got to tackle. That's a part of the game.
And drop passes. You can't keep doing you can't keep doing that. Like, you can't keep doing that. Lamar Jackson ended up with 287 passing yards, but he really should have had
Probably about close to
350,
4.
380, something
Close to
somewhere
4.
around there with the just the two passes that Brown dropped would have probably added another 70 to 90 yards onto that, plus another touchdown or two.
2.
Onto
It
that.
would have been 2 because
So,
nobody was in front of him.
right. So, I mean, so instead of one touchdown, he would have had 3. Instead of going 16 for 31, he probably should have been, say 20 for 31, something like that. 21, 22 maybe for 31. So, yeah, there's, I mean, it's game 3. There's a lot of stuff still yet to work on. And this has basically been, to be honest, their preseason.
Our true preseason.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
exactly.
they didn't get a chance to do all of this stuff
Right.
in preseason because people were always out.
Right.
The whole, but Lamar wasn't there.
Right.
And he literally played I don't even think it was a whole 10 minutes this preseason.
It wasn't even.
Right.
It wasn't even.
And then either, Brown wasn't there or Andrews wasn't there, or some of the other receivers, Prochet, Duvernay, weren't there, Boykins. So
we've never all been on the field at the same time.
Yeah, this is preseason. And I said that at the beginning of the season, it's going to take us probably until week 5 or 6, maybe even 7, to really start to get in sync in on the offense. I mean, and on defense, we just need people back. We just need people. Although they play well, they're playing well despite that, but we need those people back.
I'm going to use the word sufficient. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the word well, but I'm going to use the word sufficient. We played sufficient to get us through. It wasn't well because DeAndre Swift, that dude was running on us, and he was running on the outside. He wasn't, and Brandon Williams wasn't there on nose tackle, and we lost a couple. But he wasn't running straight up the middle.
Right.
He was running on the outside. We could not get our edges set. I know not having Justin Houston was definitely huge. I can tell the difference in things just weren't as effective this week without having his tag team.
Those are our edge guys. One on the one side, one on the other side.
Right.
So that definitely makes a difference.
So that made a big difference.
But I also would say that Swift would do that to almost any team, though, and he's just that fast and that good. They have a good backfield. Like, they're
right.
To me, the Lions are going to do something this year. They're going to make some noise. I'm not saying that they're going to necessarily make it to the playoffs. They're in a tough division, but they're going to beat some teams that you probably think they would beat this year, guaranteed.
But
They're
they
gonna
gotta
shock some
keep the
people.
QB first, bro.
I mean, yeah, that, but I think it'll be fine. I really believe they're a good team. They're coached well, I believe. They're young in some
Dan
parts and
Campbell.
not so young in some parts. So like,
Yeah.
I think they're going to be fine. I really think they're going to be fine. I think next year you're going to be talking more about them with success than you will the Packers, especially without Aaron Rodgers.
Wow, that was a hot take. Oh, you
Well,
mean because
so,
Aaron
because
Rodgers
Aaron
is
Rodgers
moving
will be
on?
gone, right?
Yeah.
And probably Adams.
Right.
So, and they already said they were asked, or well, they asked Aaron, uh, did he still want to play with Adams? And he was like, absolutely.
Oh
So
yeah.
I think
Wherever he
they're going to try to
goes,
go
he'll be
somewhere
able to get him.
together,
Right.
which is going to be a problem for everybody else in that division. Wherever they go, please do not.
Right. Yeah, wherever Aaron goes, for sure, he's going to be able to take Devontae with him. No question
Please
about
do
that.
not come to the AFC.
They're probably we don't want none of that smoke in the AFC North. We don't
I
want
really
any
don't.
of
I'm
that
not even
smoke.
gonna lie. I don't.
No, I
I
don't. That's no, we don't. We're not joking. We don't want any of that smoke. Our division is tight, as it is.
Mhm.
So before we move on from that game, we got to talk about our dude Lamar, because Saints members and friends, I'm up to here. I'm up to here with the pundits and the non-fans and the people who think they're footballers.
And people on Twitter calling him running back.
Right. Saying our quarterback is not a quarterback. He's a running back. He can't throw. He can't pass. It's like, what are y'all even talking? What are you talking about? Like, come on now. It's like I just think there is a literal bias against him. Just period. Just because he's doing it the way that he wants to do it. And they have a problem with that. People have a problem with that. But we're going to get to, because they keep saying, oh, he can't pass, he can't throw outside the numbers, he can't throw a man open, all of this other stuff. And so I wanted to share some stats. I was in Clubhouse. I have a club on Clubhouse called She Talks Football. So normally I'm in my room, She Talks Football, and also in another club, Women Watching Sports Live. There's another club, the Barbershop. I'm usually in my club, She Talks Football, and I'm always having to either in my room or some of these other rooms defend Lamar. And I'm kind of at this point, like, you know what? I really don't need to defend him anymore. We're just going to be over here taking care of our business, doing what we need to do, working our way to the Super Bowl.
Let me say this to people who still think that Lamar is just a runner. Number one, and I know you would agree with this because you said it to me, watch a whole Ravens game, a couple of them.
That's the first thing.
Not just the red zone or the highlights or whatever. Watch an entire Ravens game. You could wait till we play your team or whatever, but watch the whole Ravens game. And look at the film. Like, go on YouTube or something and find film of him throwing the ball into, especially this year, into creases. I mean, dropping bombs, throwing dimes. Like, he's been doing it this whole season. Just watch it. That's all I'm saying. Just watch it.
But he's been doing that stuff before. It's like, we're not saying that he hasn't overthrown receivers. He has. We're not saying that he's thrown the ball short. He has. We're not saying that it was somebody open and he might have missed them. He has. But can somebody tell me any other QB in the NFL who has not done the same thing, who does not do the same thing, who do not throw an interception, that miss a man open, that overthrows? Like, all QBs do that. But for whatever reason, when he does it, that's because he's not a QB. But I want to give a shout out right now. I just want to share some stats because everybody sees stats match sometimes. But since everybody likes stats, my girl Dion shared this with me. You can follow her on Twitter. Her name is Dion Carlette. We're in Clubhouse in a lot of rooms together, and she sent me a link and shared some stats with me. And I'm going to share these stats with you, and I'm going to let you know where they came from. So these stats came from stathead.com, stathead.com. And it's called Stathead Football. Listen now, these are stats on all QBs since 1960. Since 1960, all QBs. Lamar and she's Dion is a data scientist too. So she that's what she does. That's what she loves. So shout out to you, Dion. So since 1960, no QB in the NFL history has won more games than Lamar in their first 40 starts. No one. And I saw everybody was like, "Nah, Mahomes." Guess what? Mahomes is tied with Lamar. So no one has gotten more wins in their first 40 starts. And Lamar is tied with Mahomes. That's fact number one. Number two, in his first 40 starts, Jackson is third in passer ratings. Third since 1960. Go to stathead.com. You can check it out yourself. He's 13th in fewest interceptions. All QBs since 1960, 13th fewest interceptions.
Now this is all QBs since 1960 in their first
In
40
their
games.
first 40 starts.
Okay.
First 40 starts. Because
Right.
that's where he is. You know,
Okay.
he's only been in his
Right,
first
right,
40
right,
starts.
right.
14th in yards per attempts. Fifth in passing touchdowns. Third in rushing touchdowns, which is amazing that he's third. People probably thought because all he does is run. But he's third in rushing touchdowns since 1960 and second in combined touchdowns. Can somebody tell me, please, where is this dude? He's just a running back. He can't throw. He can't pass. And that's just for the stats schmats for you people that want stats. And as you alluded to, I told you every time now I get into a conversation, a debate on Clubhouse or wherever it is about Lamar, my first question is, do you watch the Ravens games? Answer that question for me first. I don't want to say, I don't want to really talk to you if you just listening to the pundits on television because they have an angle, they have a thing. They're trying to bring people. They want people to watch the show. They want there to be, dialogue and going against like there's an angle. It's entertainment. So, you and all of these other people, do you actually watch the Ravens games? Because if you actually watch the Ravens games, you would not say, oh, he's just a run first quarterback. As Ravens fans, we have sat there and he did it in the game against the Lions. The lane is open. Run, Lamar, run. There have been times when the dude held on to the ball so too long and was nearly getting sacked if it wasn't for his speed, but because he was holding on to the ball, looking downfield, trying to see where he can throw the ball because he didn't want to run. The dude is not a run first QB. People just need to stop pushing these narratives along and actually watch the games. And not just I know you may see the primetime games, whichever games we get, but try to actually watch the Ravens games consistently and see what's going on. The dude is a great quarterback. He's an elite quarterback. And you know what? I don't go ahead, let's challenge. This is a live broadcast. So you guys can go ahead and send in your comments and your questions. I'll see them and I'll definitely acknowledge them. If you got something you want to jump in here, I definitely want your comments and your questions. So you can go ahead and put those in on YouTube and I'll definitely share those. But
But
let's just
I think
stop.
a lot of that too is he's the type of person that people need to hate on. He's not he doesn't look like Jimmy G or Brady. He doesn't have a huge personality like Cam. He's not built like Ben Roethlisberger or the Bills quarterback or Josh. What's his name?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. He's not built like those guys. He looks like your average regular guy. Like if you saw him walking down the street, he just looked like a guy walking down the street. His appearance doesn't jump out as NFL star. So I think in some people's mind, it's not capable for them to believe that this guy could be. And then that's the other part too. In some old-fashioned people's way of thinking, you can't be a very good running quarterback and good at throwing the ball also. Like you have to either be one or the other. And that's ridiculous because he's different. And they've been telling you he's different since he came into the league. He is different. He will be that guy. Like Patrick Mahomes can run, with the ball, but he doesn't run like Lamar does. I'm not talking about the quantity. I'm talking about the quality. He doesn't run like Lamar does. And Lamar, if he's not already, will be at the point where he could throw the ball like Mahomes. So he is that guy. He's just going to be that guy. So everybody must hate that guy, unless you love him and you're a Ravens fan.
And I think if you're a football fan, not even just if you're just a true football fan, I just don't know where the haterade comes from.
I
I
know. I
just
think they
don't.
hate on him too because of what I just said. They don't think that a person can be both because the only examples they've had really weren't both. Mike Vick was the best runner before Lamar, and he wasn't, the greatest passer. He could throw the ball, but he wasn't the greatest passer. Obviously the greatest passer, I guess you would say, is Brady. He definitely can't run. He is not even what you would call an athletic quarterback at all. So they think that you really can't be both. And he might be a Brady Vick. We'll see.
He's a phenomenon. And as soon as people can accept the fact that Lamar is a phenomenon, he's not just a quarterback that can run, it'll be a little easier for you. It will be. But in the meantime, we know what we have. We know what we have on this team, and we are so glad to have him, would not trade him. But what I will tell you is, I bet you there are at least 28 other teams who wish they had Lamar today, at least that, who wish they would take Lamar in a heartbeat over the quarterbacks that they have, because he brings another game. He brings another level to your game. So, but anyway, you can at me. You can at me on that. Hey, Mike. Mike says he loves my passion. Oh, all right then. So you saying this is just passion. Okay then. But I'm speaking the truth, bro. I'm speaking the truth. I want to show it
I
on
think he meant that
screen.
in
Oh, he did. Oh, Mike is my Mike Mike is my dude. He's always, oh, there it is. Okay. Mike is
it was
my
out there the
dude.
first time.
Oh, it was? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All it did was highlight. Okay. So cool. So yeah, love that. So anyway, we don't have to keep talking about my boy. We know who he is. We the Ravens, we know what kind of team we have. You guys are gonna keep talking about him needing to throw 300 or 400 yards a game. Although it really should have been that this past game, and 4 or 5,000 yards a season. That's not what we need, boo. We need efficient passing. That
You know
is
what?
what
You
we
know what we
need.
need? We need W's. It doesn't even matter
Right. How
they
you win?
come, what the statistics are. We need W's, and that biggest W is going to be the SBW.
Right.
So
And
that's
you
what it
know
really
what? I
is.
just think even after he got the Super Bowl, they're gonna be like, well, I bet you can't repeat it. Like they just gonna keep moving the goal, just keep moving the goal. But that's why
Mhm.
we're not studying about you. And Lamar isn't even, and he's so focused, that entire team is focused, and I can't wait to make a liar out of people. So okay. So not is I could talk about Lamar forever, but we're going to go ahead and move on to another one more good thing, y'all. Here's the thing. We lost our entire running backs room, like all of them.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And we've had all these injuries, and so everyone is now okay. Well, they're not going to do. We thought they were going to do well, but we don't think they're going to do well. Um, but the Ravens are here to tell you that we're going to find a way to win. We're going to find a way to win. And I just said, I believe it was last week on one of our podcasts, we just need to hold on for like the next 2 to 4 weeks. If we can get through and win these games for the next 2 to 4 weeks, I feel like the cavalry is coming. Now, we're not going to be getting, as many defensive players back as I would love for us to get back, but we'll be getting a few. But on offense, and I was so excited to see this in the presser that Rashad Bateman and Boykins came back to practice this week. Woo! They came back to practice this week, guys. I am so happy about that. These are additional weapons. First of all, Boykins is our best blocking wide receiver, just period. So that's going to open up some more lanes, whether it's passing or running. And Rashad, I know he hasn't been on the field. He has not been on the field yet for us. I believe in Rashad Bateman. I believe that dude will likely be our number one wide receiver. I just think with the route running that he does, his hands, he contests for the ball. Like, I think it's just going to be like literally when he hits the field, I just feel like it's going to be spring flowers and the breath of fresh air. Like, it's just really going to open up some things more. And Marquise and Sammy, they are doing it. They are doing it. I am not taking away
I
from Marquise and Sammy at
I
all.
disagree with that.
Go ahead and disagree. Go ahead.
Because
Rashad
him
Bateman
coming back
can't wait.
can cause continuity issues. First of all, I think the number one receiver is going to be Hollywood, because the number one receiver is going to be the person that Lamar is most comfortable getting the ball to, and we all know that is Brown. Brown is the one he's
at the
most
moment
comfortable with. So
Mark Andrews too, but yeah, at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Andrews, but he's always doubled and getting hit and thumped and held, and we never get the calls with anyway, that's a whole other story. But it could be because right now, so you have Brown and you have Watkins, and the third person kind of goes back and forth, Duvernay or whomever it may be. Where would he come in at? Like, where is he gonna? Is he gonna? I mean, they drafted him. I mean, but they drafted Brown too. But is he gonna jump straight to number 2, or is he gonna jump straight to number 1, or is he gonna well, first of all, he's not gonna jump anywhere immediately because he's gonna have to.
He got to work his way
some time
out,
get back into the swing of things and stuff like that. But so any impression he makes probably won't be till week 8, 9. Somewhere down in that line, but yeah, it could be a continuity thing. I don't know. We're gonna have to see though, because they're kind of really Watkins, Brown, and Lamar, and of course Mark Andrews are really building a rhythm right now. And do you want to break that rhythm a few weeks down the road? Like, do you want to? All right, well, we drafted him. We need to get him in there so he can play. But now it's somebody else he's got to work on his timing with, his rhythm with, and stuff like that. Like, you don't want to break that, especially if you're winning. You want to keep that going. So I don't know exactly how they're going to work him in, but I mean, obviously it's a good thing that he's healthy, but I'm just saying him getting right back into the game right now might not be the best thing at the moment.
Okay, so Mike says Bateman should fit the offense in the intermediate short range where Lamar excels. So that's where Mike thinks Bateman will fit in. I don't think Bateman coming in is going to break the chemistry. It's like the more the merrier. Why not have more targets to spread the ball out to? Like, this is the type of thing that is going to help us even be more successful. Right now, teams are concentrating on, like you said, Mark Andrews, and they're usually doubling him because they're afraid he's going to get the ball. And they're going after Sammy, and they're letting Marquise Brown now just kind of run wild behind. He manages to get behind the DBs all the time. I don't know why they keep letting him do that, but he does.
But that's speed.
So to bring in Rashad with the hands, with the route running, I don't understand how that cannot but get better. Will they have to develop a chemistry? Yes, they will. They didn't get as much time in preseason because Lamar was out for 10 days with COVID, and then Lamar came back. Then Rashad, agitated his growing history, then growing, and then he was out, injury. So then he was out. So they haven't had that time, but I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. And I think that's going to further open up and then I'm going to say, who are the defenses going to cover? Who are they going to cover? So if you got Rashad out there, you got Sammy out there.
They're not going to be worried about covering. Like, we don't have really the receiver that they're going to be worried most about is Brown and Andrews. Like, that's who they're going to be mostly worried about.
So then that leaves Sammy and Rashad. Like, what? Pick your poison.
But we don't do 3 and 4 wide receiver packages.
But who's to say that we will not be doing that, though?
Well, I mean, they should. I definitely believe that they should. We never spread the defense out. That's what we need to start doing more of. Spread them out. Make them have to play more area.
See, I think we will be
go
doing that
four
stuff.
wide. You're not gonna have 8 in the box there.
I think we will be doing that stuff.
I hope
And we
so.
still got Prochet and Tylen Wallace, who needs to get involved. So is it going to take some time? Yeah, but I don't think it's going to mess up the chemistry to do that. I really don't.
We'll see.
I really
No,
don't.
I'm not
So
saying that it definitely would. I'm just saying that you wouldn't want to if they've already have their rhythm and everything established. You don't want to break that, especially if we're winning.
I understand what you're saying, but I really don't think that's going to be an issue, especially with what Rashard is going to bring to the game. Is that comment still showing on the screen? Oh, okay. So I guess
Yeah.
you have to take it off after a while. Okay. That's the first time I've actually been able to do that. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike, for posting those comments. So yeah, so no, I'm looking forward to it. I don't even care. I'm looking forward to Rashard Bateman getting on that field and bringing what he's going to bring. I think by the time our offense gets, and I think he's coming in at the right time because we need to get prepped for that. Because Lord, we got like a string of tough games or what could conceivably be tough games back to back. And I think with having all of those weapons, especially with us being kind of short on defense, I think we need to score all the points that we can.
Yeah,
So
and
I'm
I don't
happy
think that.
about this trajectory. I'm happy about this trajectory.
I mean, I'm happy about it too, but I'm just saying I don't think that the weapons are the problem. I think my biggest issue is going to be the coaching. What plays are we going to put out there to take advantage of the situation that we had?
But see,
It,
that's when to me T Martin comes in, and that's where what's the other gentleman we brought? We brought in T Martin and we brought in
but they're not the offensive coordinators, though. It's the
right, they're
offensive
not the
coordinators.
coordinators, but I do think that they are with T Martin working with the wide receivers and with the other gentleman who is escaping my brain. I don't know why. With him working on, he's going to be working on plays. I firmly believe that he's working on plays, honestly. So no, they're not the OC, but I think that he's involved for sure, and they're going to be working on plays. I think we haven't even really
So you
opened
think
up.
they're going to be running things outside of the scheme of the OC to be able to work those players in?
Well, is it
That would be
outside
highly
or is the
unusual.
OC just opening up his scheme and doing some things differently? We've been saying for years that Roman needed to change things up. We've been saying that. So
We
we have
have,
an opportunity.
but has he? That's the question.
No, I honestly believe this year he knows that he needed to make some changes. Like I just go back to the segment that Steve Smith did where he pulled up some film from the
Kaepernick.
49ers
Mm-hmm.
and the Bills and the Ravens and showed we were running the exact same plays. Like I think because of that, Lamar himself was, in pressers saying that the defense knew what we were going to do before we did it. And this was a consistent thing. And we've had players even come around and be like, yeah, we just looked at the tape. Y'all, you did this. This was the towel. That was the towel. You did that. Like stuff has to change. It has to. And I believe this was the year that for these things to change. Things got kind of turned upside down when we got all these injuries. But I firmly believe that our offense was
Well, I hope you're
definitely
right.
going to
I
be
mean,
changing up.
I have seen some new stuff in the passing scheme, but we'll see.
And I'm telling you, this Lions game, that was a game for them to practice. That's why they went that way. Like I know fantasy players, participants were upset that Tyson Williams they didn't run the ball with him. I had Tyson on my league. I needed those points from Tyson, but I think it was already determined that they were going to be practicing some passing plays for this game out of the games that we had coming up. Not that we were overlooking them, but this would be the game that we had an opportunity to really, and that's why we went so hard on the passing game because we needed to practice some things that they wanted to put in place for down the line. And I think that's why the game went the direction that it did offensively, and we eked out the win. It was scary, but he actually won passing the game. He did not win running. It was 4-19 and no timeouts, and he needed to get the ball down the field to get within field goal range. And the other great thing about that, our offensive line held it down on that play. I was panicking. I was like, he's holding the ball too long. He's holding the ball. I knew he was trying to see where to throw the ball, but I'm like, I didn't think but they held the line. The O-line held the line. That dude had so much time to throw that ball. So I gotta give him credit for that. They held it down until that boy could connect with Sammy. And that's what, and even then I was like, man, that's still gonna be 60 some yards. Like, what the heck? And it was 66 yards. But Justin Tucker, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Tucker is Justin Tucker. So anyway, that was a great game.
Legatron.
That was a great game. So we're going to go ahead and move on. Any last thoughts on the Ravens or that game?
Nope.
Okay. What we looking at? Oh yeah, we got a few more minutes here. So I want to talk about 4 of these other games that happened in week 3. Let me see. You know what? Let's just go ahead and transition over to the Chiefs Chargers. Like, who did you pick? In your picks, did you pick the Chiefs or the Chargers to win that game?
I picked the Chiefs.
So did I. I did think about it. Okay, go ahead.
Let me tell you why I picked the Chiefs. So I don't know how I messed it up like that, but I thought the Chiefs were home for some reason, and that was the only reason why I picked
the Chiefs
them.
Were home. They were home.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in Arrowhead.
That's why I picked them, because they were home.
My thought was the Chiefs were not going to drop 2 games in a row because, since Mahomes has been there, that has not happened. And they were in Arrowhead, like you said. It's like they were in Arrowhead. They just lost to the Ravens. They're not going to lose 2 games in a row. Even though I felt like, despite the game that the Chargers had last week, I felt like the Chargers was definitely a challenge. I was like, I know the Chargers can beat them, but advantage Arrowhead Stadium, and the Chiefs just lost. And that was really the reason why I went with the Chiefs. Yep. And lo and behold, the Chargers were like, not so, not today. The Chargers were like, not today.
I actually said that if we go back to one of my podcasts, I think it was the first or second one, I said that the Chargers were at least going to split with the Chiefs.
Right. You did.
The Chiefs struggled to beat them last year in both games. Like they just pulled out those games. Like they struggled against the Chargers last year.
Right.
And even though the Chargers had I think they have a few people out on defense in that game, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
So, yep. So those Chiefs and Chargers, it was a great game. Again, it was like the same thing that happened with the Ravens Chiefs. Is like the Chargers beat the Chiefs at their own game. It was another interception. This is really uncharacteristic for Mahomes, but he had another after the interception at our game. He had interceptions again with this Chargers game. I think the Chargers definitely took a page out of the defense. How we ran our defense against the Chargers. Against the Chiefs. And the other thing, I actually tweeted this out because I was like, after I was watching the highlights from the game, I was like, okay, so Lamar did a jump pass touchdown when we played the Chiefs, and Herbert did a jump pass touchdown when they played the Chiefs. I was like, are they shading him? Like, dude, anything you can do, we can do it too. Like, I was like, I thought that was kind of funny. So I actually tweeted that out because that happened both times. They did jump pass touchdowns.
I think it was just a matter of coincidence. Like, nobody's going to do something that dangerous or risky on purpose just to prove a point. I think
I don't know, dude. That's just big.
It's just the fact that you're still talking about all young, because this is only year 4 for Mahomes, or 5, 4 or 5, one of those for Mahomes. Is year 3 for Lamar, and it's just year 2 for Herbert. So, or is it 5 for?
It's 4. It's 4 for Lamar. Yeah, and it's 5 for Mahomes.
And this is year 2 for Herbert. They just young quarterbacks who are more athletic than the old guard that we still have spread out through the league. So I think it was just coincidence.
Well, that was pretty wild. Should Chiefs fans be worried? Should Chiefs fans be worried about the projection of the Chiefs right now? I actually saw a tweet from Mahomes, and he was like, "There's nothing wrong with a little adversity."
I don't. Not yet. If they lose 3-4 in a row, then I would be like, okay, something's not quite right over there. Or people just got in the film room and figured some stuff out. One or the
Mike
other.
Mike says, I think the AFC West is up in the air. I agree. Interesting to see the Chiefs in last place right now. For sure. Have not seen that,
The first
but
time
they
since
are
2015.
literally in last place in that division. And I agree with you. It is up in the air.
It is. It definitely is.
That's
Now,
go ahead.
I say it's up in the air between um well right now. I was gonna say right now
Okay.
it's up in the air between, to me, Raiders, Chargers, and Chiefs, not the Broncos yet.
Mm-hmm.
They are undefeated. They're 3-0, but they play the Giants, the Jets, and the Jaguars. So
Right. They played the three J's.
right. So uh Giants begin with a G, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
But but
The sound got me. Ebonics.
but
Right. G Giants.
they still do look like a pretty decent. But I need to see them play. Oh well, they play us. The Ravens coming up this week, so I need to see that game, win or lose. I need to see what they do in that game, and then I can say, oh yeah, they might be in the running too.
No, I agree with you. The Raiders has been surprising to me. Definitely surprising in that first game of the season when we lost, even though we could have won that. We had a couple of opportunities to actually win that
Yep,
game.
yep.
We did. But they came out with the dub. So that's what's on the record books. They got the dub. And then they turned around and beat the Steelers, whose fans were like, y'all lost to the Raiders? How y'all lose to the Raiders? And then the next week I was like, y'all lost to the Raiders? How y'all lose to the Raiders? And then the Raiders just be, who do they play this week? Shoot, I forgot who they played this week. So yeah, I mean, who knows now? We do know sometimes the Raiders will start off really well
And then
and
fall
then
off.
right and then fall off. So we don't know if it's going to be like that kind of season or
I can't wait till the Raiders Chiefs game. They were always good anyway,
right.
but they may be even better now because even though you kind of felt like, all right, the Raiders have maybe a chance to win, now shoot, it might be just 50-50 who's going to win.
I'm still
So,
trying to see. I don't know why I can't remember who the Raiders played. I was trying to look
oh,
back in
who they
the
played this week?
yeah, no, not coming this past. I
No,
found it.
just week just passed.
Yeah, I was looking week 3. Here it is. The Raiders
They played the
played.
Dolphins.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, it was the Dolphins. Okay.
They just barely beat them though by 3 points. Field goal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be good. So yeah, I agree with you, Mike. That AFC West is wide open. Hot
Also,
take.
it's the
I
AFC
actually
North.
did say right. I actually said that no, it's not wide open. The Ravens going to win the AFC North. We're going to win. I know everybody think it's going to be the Browns, but the Ravens going to win the AFC North.
That's
But
another game I'm anticipating.
the darn it, I forgot what I was about to say. But yeah, in any case, yeah, that was a fantastic game. It was shocking to see them lose. We saw the same. He's trying. He's doing those same plays that he normally does. That has been working in the past, but this year is not working out so much. Like those no look passes. That's you going down for a possible sack and you toss the ball and you think Kelsey is going to get it. Like it hasn't worked out these last 2 games. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're able to make adjustments. Do I think they're just going to suck? No, absolutely not. Mahomes is still the great quarterback. They still have great personnel in their team, and Andy Reid is still a great coach. So there's not like they're about to crash and burn. But
I will say, maybe, just maybe, and I need to see more to know for sure. Just maybe that offensive line that they paid all that money for and put together might not be as good as they thought they were going to be. So we'll see.
So from the Chiefs and Chargers, let's go to that Steelers Bengals. Steeler fans, Pittsburgh Steeler Nation, yellow towels. You lost
losses.
to the Bengals. And I'm not saying that the Bengals are trash. I'm not. Because I actually had the Bengals on my like sleeper team to watch. Not that they were going to win the division or go to the playoffs necessarily, but I was just like, I feel like they're going to win more games than people think they're going to win. I think people are sleeping on them. And
Well,
so, but
that's mainly
the
because Joe
Pittsburgh
Burrow.
normally trashes the Bengals, but not this time.
But they have Joe Burrow now. They have Joe Burrow in his second year. Well, he didn't even play all of last year.
Right.
In his second year, who knows the offense better now, and the boy's nice. The boy is like he's nice. And on top of that, the Steelers lost J.J. Watt in that game, and just
TJ.
like last year,
TJ Watt.
I mean, yeah, T.J. Watt. I'm sorry. Just like last year when they lost, what's his name,
Bud Dupree.
Bud Dupree. That defense did not look the same after that.
Right. Right.
And then this year, T.J. Watt goes out, and that defense looked nothing like the same. Like, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't even sack Joe Burrow in that game. So I think their streak is broken of straight games with sacks. But yeah, and then Joe Burrow, he went 14 of 18.
Nice.
So he wasn't getting a whole lot of pressure or anything like that. Like the guy, he missed 4 passes the whole game and didn't even have to throw a lot of passes to win the game. So, I mean, and he had 3 touchdowns. So out of those 14 completions, 3 of them was touchdowns. That's pretty good against what was supposed to be one of the best defenses.
Right. That's what I was
in the
about to
league.
say. Where's the defense?
So, but the Steelers have more worries than the defense, and I'm not sure if T.J. Watt will be back next week. For their sake, I hope so, because they didn't look that good without him. But then their offensive line is I think the bigger issue, because it's not like Ben hasn't been getting pressure on him. He's to the point where
Ben put pressure on his own
seeing
self.
ghosts now. He's running away from nobody, throwing the ball to the offensive line. Like, I really believe that he thought somebody was chasing him. Like, there is no other explanation for that than he thought somebody was chasing him. That dude thought he's seeing ghosts. Like, that's how much pressure he was getting. But then, more seriously though, Ben is not Brady. When I say that, I mean, I'm not comparing greatness or anything like that, but Brady is notorious for having taken care of his body.
Right.
And he doesn't even look as good as he did last year to me, but
he's down in Miami having a good time. That's why.
Yeah, Ben is 39 years old. He cannot keep throwing the ball 40 times a game for them to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to work.
Right.
If they keep on at that rate, like, he's going to end up, what is this, week 3, week 8? His arm will be spaghetti. Like, he won't even be. He threw the ball 58 times. 58. Let's compare that. Joe Burrow won. He threw 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 14 of 18. He threw 18 passes the whole entire game. Ben threw not just 40 passes, 40 more passes than Joe Burrow, and got 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
So what's going on with Jamar Chase? Where's the run game? That O-line?
You mean
not Jamar Chase.
Najee Harris.
Najee Harris. Yes, Najee Harris. Yes.
They can't block for him to run. He's doing good in the pass department, but they can't block enough for him to be able to get anywhere. And I don't know how that big of a breakdown came. Like, I don't know it, because 2 years ago, you couldn't do anything with that Steelers offensive line. You couldn't penetrate it. They were going to run. All that. Like, it was so tough to beat the Steelers 2 years ago. But now it's I don't know. Things have changed for sure.
Yeah, I know. Let's ask this question: should Steeler fans be worried?
Yeah, and I know I said it's only 3 games. Don't worry about the Chiefs, but this is different. Like that the defense doesn't look well. doesn't look like the Steelers defense, especially
Mm-hmm.
when TJ Watt's not in there.
Mm-hmm.
That offensive line definitely does not look like a normal Steelers offensive line. And then it could be attributed to the offensive line, but he looks old. He looks old. So I mean, he has like imaginary people chasing him, so he runs and drops, throws the ball and falls. I
It
mean,
falls down. I was like, what
I
happened?
don't know. Like I don't know. Like yeah, I would be worried.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that they should be where. I mean, coming into the season, I was on an AFC North division breakdown on the Pigskin Party podcast with Samantha Holt, who's another podcaster. Go Samantha, for the Steelers, and I was like, sorry Samantha, but I think the Steelers will be coming in third. In our division, it's definitely a fight between the Ravens and the Browns. But
They
dude,
could be coming in
what if
fourth.
right? I'm about to say, what if the Bengals get ahead of them? Like,
Yeah.
wow. So yeah,
Well, right now they are. The
oh
Steelers
right,
are in fourth right now.
right, they really are. Yep, the Bengals got us because they won a division game already, and we haven't. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why they're in first place, and then Ravens in second place because we haven't played a division game yet. But
Right.
whoo, okay, so we got about 4 minutes. Let's see if we can get to. Oh man, let's see if we can get to. Well, you know what? I'm gonna drop a couple of these other games because the Chiefs and the Chargers and the Steelers and the Bengals. We knew what went down with the Rams and the Bucks. Again, I fell for it. I picked the Bucks this past week,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that the Rams could beat them, but I'm just like, but
Oh
it's the
no, I
Bucks.
made a mistake. I made a mistake earlier. That was the game where I thought the team was home and they weren't. I thought the
Okay,
Bucks were playing at home.
right.
So that was the only reason why I picked the Bucks. Other than that, I would not have picked the Bucks because to me, they're both okay. So to me, they're both phony. Like I'm just going to say it. They're both phony to
The
me.
Rams and the
The Rams
Bucks.
and the Bucks are both phony to me. But I did think that Rams defense was going to give them a little bit of trouble. Although I have no respect for the Rams defense, but I don't. I just don't.
I
But
know we've
I figured that they
been
were going to give them a little bit of trouble because mainly I don't know that the Bucks offense is going to be what it was last year. People kept saying it was going to be much better. He knows the offense now. You know, they didn't have we didn't have a preseason last year. He didn't have training camp with them and stuff like that. So he was kind of lost. I'm talking about Brady. He was kind of lost to the offense sometimes, stuff like that. So this year it was going to be on. It was going to be no. People studied you from last year. It's going to be different this year. Now, it depends on how hard their schedule is, what happens, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not high on either one of those teams.
So let's jump ahead. I do want to throw out some recent personnel changes that are going to happen and some is a possible. One, Josh Gordon got reinstated for the 99th time, and he's going to the Chiefs. Josh Gordon is back. Let's see if that makes a difference there. I know when we talked about this earlier, you felt like they missed Sammy Watkins. I feel like McCole Hardman and Pringle, because he's that's the thing. They spread the ball around and they still lost to the Ravens. So I don't know if adding, Josh Gordon is really going to make that much of a difference because I felt like Pringle.
They're good. Pringle and Hardman are good, but they don't have the football intelligence and wisdom that Watkins has. Watkins been around for a while, so he's played for several offenses. I mean, so they don't have what I think they are missing. I feel like when it wasn't Kelsey, when it wasn't the other wide receiver, it was Watkins. It was Watkins that was getting them out of whatever they were in.
Until he got hurt.
Getting a first down somewhere that you wish they didn't, or a touchdown somewhere where you wish they didn't. He came out of nowhere like you didn't even know he was there type of thing. And now McCole Hardman is going to have to do that. And he can. I'm not saying he can't, but I think they're still missing Watkins just a little bit.
All right, and then so Josh Gordon, Marlon Mack, and the Colts agreed that he can be traded. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody is interested in him and Marlon Mack.
Who needs a running back? Like who severely needs?
Um,
Well,
what
maybe the
about
49ers because they got a lot of
oh
injuries at
yeah,
running back.
yeah, definitely 49ers. For
Uh,
sure 49ers. I'm pretty sure it's a couple of other teams.
maybe the
Shoot, the Steelers need a running back.
no, they don't. They got Najee Harris.
I know, but I don't know. Get the man some help or something. So they don't need a running back.
No,
They
they need
need
an
an O
offensive
line,
lineman.
right? They need an O line, but I don't know.
Texas, maybe.
Mark Ingram seemed to be doing okay.
Oh
I
no,
forget
yeah,
who
you're
else
right.
is
You're
down
right.
there.
Yeah,
He
he was.
seems to
He
be
was.
doing.
He was.
I think it's somebody else down there. I know it's some teams that need a running back, so we'll see. And then also the last one, Richard Sherman, has been drawing interest from the Bucks.
I guess. You know, I've never been big on.
And I've been a big
I
Richard
like
Sherman
him
fan.
as a person, but I don't like him as a player. Like I don't. I'm not high on him as a player. I never have been because although he has a lot of accolades, he also does a lot
I
of
think the
holding,
Ravens
a lot
can
of
use him right
grabbing.
now. I think the
Who?
Ravens could use him. I think we could use him right now.
No,
I
no,
know you don't
no,
like
no,
it, but I
no.
think we could use him.
What is he going to do? He didn't do anything last
We
year.
need some more cornerbacks. We need some more cornerbacks.
Yeah, we need a cornerback that can actually play, get around, move up, move down, side to side. He can't do any of that stuff anymore.
I think he'll be back with a chip on his shoulder and wanting to prove himself. And it just will be glad to have another chance. Like you
I think
can't.
that's what I think that's where his mind will be, but where his body will be could be a whole different place.
I mean, that is true. So, all right, let's do these picks because we are overtime again. All right, so let's do these picks. Week 4 games. I just picked out 1, 2, 3, 4 games. Bucks and Patriots. Who's winning that game?
Bucks.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I was looking forward to that game coming into the season, Bucks and Patriots. But based off of the way the Patriots have unfortunately been playing, I mean, is it going to be a good game?
Well, you
I
can say
don't
that, but then
know.
on the flip side, Belichick has something special planned for Brady. My thinking would be that they're going to make him have to keep throwing the ball deep, which is not his specialty.
Right, but I'm sure the Belichick had a plan for these other games that they lost too.
Yeah,
Like,
but I think he's going to have something really like he probably been planning for this game since preseason. So yeah,
I hope it's a good
it's
game. I
possible.
really hope it's a good game.
Oh, it's definitely going to
All
be a
right,
good game. Just because the
Ravens
atmosphere.
Broncos. Ravens Broncos.
Ravens.
Of course. We're not overlooking Broncos, please.
No,
And
not at
I'm
all. I
actually a
just think
fan of Teddy
again the
Bridgewater, and
Broncos
they
are
got
3-0,
defense.
but they haven't played
Right,
anybody yet.
right. They've played the 3 J's, as I said before: the Jaguars, the Jets, and the Giants.
The
We
Giants
call
with a
it the
J.
G and J. All right, and then Steelers Packers. I know that's how I feel.
Who's home? Packers. Yeah, Packers are home.
I believe.
Man, you go first.
No, because I did the same thing. Like you actually exhale. I mentally exhale when I said it because
So I think so. Here's my issue.
I think the Steelers going to get up. I think they're going to get up for this Packers game.
I feel like they can, and I never count the Steelers out, but mainly because of Coach Tomlin. Like Coach Tomlin is a really good coach. Like a
And
really
Green
good
Bay's
coach.
defense is not.
Green Bay's defense is not that good, but neither is. There's so many variables. I just don't know. So the Steelers defense is not looking good right now, but if TJ is playing, they probably can win that game. If TJ's not playing, I don't think they can.
You know what? I want to give it to the Steelers, but I want to give the game to the Steelers. I feel like they're unhappy with where they are, and they're going to really get up for this game and be able to figure something out. I just feel like I need to give it to the Steelers, but we'll see.
Well, you
Lions,
got to pick somewhere to show off. So I'll give it to the Steelers, especially if TJ is playing.
Lions, Bears. Oh my.
Lions.
Only because, dude, he doesn't give Justin Fields doesn't have an O line.
His
His O
O-line
line
is
is worse than the
terrible.
Steelers and every.
Yes,
Did you
it
see
is.
that stat? They said he had point something seconds to point something, not even 1 point, not even a whole second to get rid of the ball. Like,
And I also feel like with the Bears, Matt Nagy might be in trouble
yeah,
because they're just not. That team has too much potential
right.
to be doing what they're doing. That defense could be a beast.
And we thought
You
they were
got it.
going to
Offense
be
got to be
coming
on the
in.
field for a little bit though, and we have to play them this year too.
Yep, the Lions and the Bears. Well, we played the Lions, so yep. Now we got the Bears. Here's to hoping that O line stay trash when we play them. We don't need. We don't need. We're not gonna hurt Fields.
Justin
We don't
Fields.
need to hurt him. We just need to come away with the win.
Yep.
So yeah, so that one. So we're going to end right there. It's been 105. We're going to get this thing down to an hour. But as usual, I've had great fun talking
Absolutely.
football with Bobby from the No Pro Football Show. Go ahead and tell them where they can find you again.
They can find the No Pro Football Show on YouTube at obviously No Pro Football Show. And they can find me at NP Football Show on Twitter.
All right. And so he routinely is a host on my show. I routinely am a host on a guest host on his show. So you can actually check out No Pro Football Show and you'll see me over there too. So I am Gina, the host of She Talks Football. It has been so swell, so cool talking for you guys and with you guys today. Thank you, Mike Valverde, for your comments. I appreciate that. Make sure you follow me on The Undroppables. I have to sing it. The Undroppables, great team, great group of people. I'm so glad to be a part of this platform. So make sure you're following The Undroppables on Twitter. And also on YouTube. And also, I have my own YouTube channel, and the videos will be up there too, called She Talks Football, as well as my episodes are out on Spotify and they will be on Apple. Apple takes a bit long to verify you before they drop it. But my first episode should be dropping there in the next day or two. And then this one should be right there on Apple, Google Podcast, and some of the other ones. So make sure and check that out. Until next time, y'all, let's go and enjoy this football for week 4. Let's go. Bye, everybody.